everybody, I'm Bill Sanders, and this is WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. Today is going to be a little unusual because it began with a mistake that I made. I suggested that the Orient watches were made with Chinese movements. That was a mistake. They are a Japanese company. They're part of the Seiko Group. They're owned by Seiko, and they have their own in-house movements. These are not Seiko movements. These are Orient in-house movements. Anyhow, I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at an Orient since I didn't have one, and they're a real bargain. So anyhow, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a lot of interesting things with Timegraphers too. We'll take a look at the Orient with a Timegrapher and see everything we need to find out about in-house movements and how accurate your watch is. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this is going to be an unboxing of a watch that I think just about anybody could afford, and it goes back to an earlier video I had made, and I inadvertently had noted that Orient was of Chinese manufacture. However, I was corrected on that. Not only is Orient a Japanese manufacturer, but their movement is in-house. So what I thought I'd do is that I would get one, and I would then compare it with another watch. This one is of a Chinese manufacturer named Armatron, and so we'll take a look at both of these watches, and then I'm going to test them in a Timegraph machine. So let's take a look at this. This is we'll do an opening on this one, and I think it'd probably be best served by opening it from here. And let's see what we got here. Okay, now, like I said, this has an in-house movement, and by Orient, and I guess some of our viewers like these, and so we'll take a look at it. Don't have it. This is going to be a future giveaway that we have for watch collections reviews. Okay, and here it is. This is the Orient, name of it, and here's the watch. Okay, it's got a sapphire crystal. Okay, you can see the in-house movement that they have, and it's ticking away. And the time, I'll set the time with my computer here. Okay, here it is. It's all out of its wrappings, and let's bring this down, see if we can get this under the camera. These are very handy things to have. Let's see. Okay, you can see the watch here pretty clearly with the date set, and it's running along, and it's just a typical dress watch. Here's the movement. You can see it too. Now this is an in-house movement. There is no finishing to speak of. It's a let's see, you can see the rotor there, and that is about that. They like to point out that their movement
uses fewer parts than an ETA movement, and so we'll see what kind of job it does. Now, to compare this, we're going to compare this with an Armatron. Here's the Armatron, and the Armatron, like I said, is a Chinese manufacturer, and the movement is by Seiko, which is a Chinese company, and it's a skeletonized version. And here you can see the movement in the back with a lot of decorations on it. Okay, but anyhow, the decorations don't count as much as as how well the watch works. So, what we're going to do, these watches will be given away to winners of our collection contest eventually. So anyhow, for now though, we're going to switch over and take a look at the machine that will measure how accurate they are. So let's stop and do that. Okay, we'll start with the Orient watch on the Timegrapher, and we'll take a look at the number of seconds that it is too fast or too slow, and we'll take a look at that in terms of a range. And as you can see, we're getting a pretty wide gap here. There's minus 18, minus 69, minus 65. Now basically what this means that in a period of 24 hours it's going to be losing a certain number of seconds, and the more seconds it loses, the more off it is. Okay, we'll stop this, and now we'll take a look at the Amatron. The Amatron right now is running between about 8 and 10 seconds plus. That's really not so bad. That's not bad at all. The other thing you can see is that it has a very tight cluster. There's not a lot of deviation there. And again, there's a fairly steady numbers between 8 and 10. Now this is, by the way, this is a Chinese made movement. The movement is from Seiko. They make more automatic movements than any other watch company anywhere. Okay, now what I put in this old ETA I have. It's a Raymond Weil. It's about 20, 25 years old, somewhere around there. It's never been serviced. It's always sort of been off by a little. But you can see the amount of differences between it and both the Japanese and the Chinese movements, and it's been a I mean, it works. It keeps on ticking no matter what. But it's always been off. I mean, it's even when it was new, it was off a few minutes a day. And as you can see, you can divide, what is it, 183 by 60, and you can figure out how many minutes a day that is. It's down to 164 now. Now remember, all of these tests are done in a steady state, and it like the other two, is an automatic. Okay, for comparative purposes, let's take a look at my Vacheron Constantin. It's a new watch also. See, Historique Americain 1921. And this is what a high horology watch that's in good shape looks like. Well, it's brand new, but so are the other two. So we have a variation between 0 and 1 right now. And just like I said, this is for comparisons. Okay, so let's see. It's steady, pretty steady at about a second. That went up to 2 seconds there. But you can see the difference in terms of how steady the these watches are. I mean, the high horology watches. There, it's already took a bounce up to 3 whole seconds, which was, I don't think the other ones ever got down to 3 seconds. But right now it seems to be right at 3 seconds per day, and down to 2 seconds. And it varies between about 0 and 3 seconds per day on the changes that it's going to have.
Well, you saw from the unboxing, you saw how the Timegrapher worked, or you had some idea of it. And what I'd like to do now is to go over the different parts of the Timegrapher and show what it does and how it can help you keep your watch in tip-top shape. And also, too, if you're buying a watch, it'll give you a very, very good picture of the kind of watch that you're getting. Okay, so let's get started. If you look at the Timegrapher, on the far left side is they have little labels across the top, and it says rate. And the rate is how fast or slow that the watch is running. Basically, it's the number of seconds per day, and whether your watch is too fast or too slow. If it has a minus, it's too slow. If it has a plus, it's too fast. And an acceptable rate for most watches is about minus 12. Okay, so if you got plus or minus 12 seconds a day, your watch is acceptable. If it's got plus or minus 5 seconds, it's fantastic. I mean, it's really great to have your watch running like that. So let's take a look. Right here we have a couple of them. The Orient isn't doing so hot. It's got showing there minus 112. And the Harboring 2, on the other hand, is showing plus 5. So the Harboring 2 is in the great area, and the Orient, I'm afraid, is in the unacceptable area. Okay. Second of all, you have something called amplitude. And this is you can see that it's right above the top of the little window. And amplitude is a measure of the rotation in the swing of the balance wheel. And it's sort of a really good indication of the health of your watch. And you have, if it's in really good shape, the rate's going to be between 270 and 310. But it's acceptable all the way to 250 to 270. So if we take a look at the Harboring 2 and the Orient, the Harboring 2 is in the great range, and the Orient is just made it at 267, so it's within the acceptable amplitude. Okay, now keep in mind the Orient is brand new, so it's something but it's a good price too. All right. Okay, the next thing is called the beat error. And the beat error is the amount of time by which the duration of the swing differs from one side to the other in the oscillation of the balance wheel. Okay. Generally speaking, to get a beat error of 0, the rollers, there's a little jewel that serves as a roller on the pallet fork, has to be perfectly centered. And the acceptable, I mean, not acceptable, but great, if you have the value of between 0 and 0.5 milliseconds, you're doing really good. The Harboring 2's got 0. Okay, so I mean, it's great. Acceptable is between 0.6 and 1 milliseconds. And the Orient is just over that a little. It didn't quite make it. It's at 1.1 millisecond. So anyhow, okay. So this is give you some idea how to use it. Now you have another number that we can see in the Amatron and the Vacheron Constantin 1921. And this is the beat number, or the ticks per hour. The Amatron is set, and by the way, these are general settings. They shouldn't vary a great deal. The Amatron is 21,600, and the Vacheron Constantin is 28,800. Now you have different ones. You have 14,400, which is about 4 beats per second. 18,000, which is about 5 beats. 21,600 is about 600 beats per second, so that would be the Amatron. And then you have 28,800, which is 8 beats per second, which would be the Vacheron Constantin. Okay, I took my watch in, my Zenith. I wanted to have it serviced, and I made a mistake. I should have had my Timegrapher with me and tested it before and after it went to the repair shop. Not the repair shop, but the service shop. I didn't do that. I wish I had. The other kind of thing that you can do, and it's very important, is that before you buy a watch, if there's any way you can get these figures, it's very important. Of course, if you're doing it at a store, you walk in and you say, "I'd like to see the Timegrapher figures on this." They should be happy to show it to you. And there may be a problem if the watch is still all packaged in the box with all the wrapping around it. But if you're buying it used, especially, ask to see that. Ask about these numbers. A lot of time, people just don't know. They have no idea. They're selling something. They can't tell you the beat number. They can't tell you anything. And beat numbers are fairly static. So it's just a tool, and it's one I think that any serious watch collector really should have. Okay, all right. Well, this is it for today. And what I'd like to do is to get your opinions on it. These are not expensive. $100 if you've got multi-$1,000 watches, or the worst of watches. Well, first of all, it's fun to play with too, by the way, and it's very easy to work. All you got to do is just put your watch on there. If you turn them at different angles, that you have different kinds of things. If it's flat, you have it's lower, and then if it's at an angle, it's higher. So, but otherwise, they're super simple to use. You just twist it and it'll go flat, or twist it this way and it'll show you it. Okay, let's hear your comments on this. It's also an invitation to subscribe. And also, too, we're going to have this new thing called the Watch of the Week. And what we're going to have each week, we're going to just spend a little time, not much, just to say, hey, here's the Watch of the Week, and this belongs to Joe Blow, and he just got it, and here it is. And I thought that would be sort of a fun thing to add to it. Okay, so so if you have a watch that you really like, take a picture of it, give me the reference number, and then just email me an image of it, and it may be the Watch of the Week. That'd be sort of a fun thing. Okay, Bill Sanders for WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. See you on Sunday.